The Indianapolis Colts are officially projected to break the bank for a high-impact free agent starter to shore up their roster. This move signals a massive shift in Ballard's strategy. But before we break this down, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that like button. We are trying to hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers, so please support the channel. I have been watching this front office for a long time, and if there is one thing we know about Chris Ballard, it is that he usually prefers to build through the draft and keep his checkbook closed during the initial frenzy of free agency. However, a new report from Heavy.com suggests that the narrative is about to change in a very big way. The Colts are being linked to a major financial investment in a key free agent starter, a move that would represent a significant departure from their traditional operating procedure. We are talking about the kind of money that usually makes Ballard flinch, but the current state of the roster and the competitive landscape of the AFC South might finally be forcing his hand. I think we need to look at the context of why this is happening right now. The Colts are in a unique position with Anthony Richardson entering his second year. Even though he missed most of his rookie season, the clock is ticking on that rookie contract. This is the window where smart teams spend aggressively to surround their young quarterback with elite talent before that quarterback takes up $40 or $50 million of the cap himself. I see this potential move as a direct response to the explosion of talent we are seeing in Houston and Jacksonville. The Colts cannot afford to just stand pat and hope for internal development anymore. The report indicates that the team is targeting a high-impact starter, and when you look at the holes on this roster, the defensive side of the ball stands out like a sore thumb. Specifically, the pass rush and the secondary have been areas of concern for years. If the Colts are truly ready to pay big money, it tells me they are hunting for a game changer, someone who can single-handedly alter a defensive game plan. I believe the names being floated around, like Daniel Hunter or a top-tier cornerback, fit this description perfectly. Hunter, in particular, would be a transformative addition to Gus Bradley's defense. Imagine a scenario where you have a proven double-digit sack artist coming off the edge to complement the interior pressure from DeForest Buckner. That changes everything for the linebackers and the safeties. It allows the secondary to play more aggressively because they know the quarterback is going to be under duress within seconds of the snap. I have spent hours analyzing the salary cap situation in Indianapolis, and the truth is that they have the room to make this happen. They have consistently been among the leaders in available cap space, often to the frustration of fans who want to see that money used on proven stars. Now it seems the projection is that Ballard is finally ready to pull the trigger. This is not just about filling a roster spot, it's about making a statement to the rest of the league. It's about telling the locker room that the front office is just as committed to winning right now as the players are. I think the psychological impact of a big money signing cannot be overstated. It brings an injection of energy and professionalism that trickles down to the younger players. When you bring in a veteran who has done it at the highest level and you pay them with their worth, it sets a standard. The Heavy.com report highlights that the Colts are anticipated to make a substantial financial investment, and that wording is key. Substantial means we are likely looking at a multi-year deal with heavy guarantees. This is the kind of commitment that defines a general manager's legacy. If Ballard hits on this, the Colts could easily jump into the conversation for the AFC South crown. If it fails, it will be the primary criticism leveled against him for the remainder of his tenure. I am personally excited about the prospect of this move because I have felt for a while that the roster was just one or two elite pieces away from being a serious contender. We have the foundation. We have the coaching staff under Shane Steichen that has proven it can maximize talent. Now we just need the raw horsepower to compete with the heavyweights of the AFC. I think about the impact of a dominant pass rusher and how it would alleviate the pressure on our young cornerbacks. It's a domino effect that improves every single level of the defense. I have heard the arguments that we should keep the money for our own extensions, but you cannot win in this league by only paying your own guys. You have to be willing to go out and take what you need from the open market. This projection is a sign that the Colts are finally waking up to that reality. I want to see this happen sooner rather than later, because the longer you wait, the more the price goes up. The market for elite starters is only getting more expensive, and if the Colts have identified their target, they need to move with conviction. I will be tracking every update on this story because it could be the defining moment of the 2024 offseason for Indianapolis. I really believe we are on the verge of something big here, and the fan base deserves to see this team take that next step towards greatness.
Continuing our deep dive into this massive projection for the Indianapolis Colts, we have to consider the long-term implications of Chris Ballard finally opening the vault. When a team like Indy, known for its fiscal conservatism, is projected to spend big, it usually means they have identified a specific player who fits their culture and their scheme perfectly. I mentioned Danielle Hunter earlier, and he remains the most logical target if we are talking about a substantial financial investment. The veteran edge rusher has the size, the length, and the proven production that Ballard covets. But it is not just about one name, it is about the philosophy of value. I think Ballard has realized that while he loves his draft picks, a draft pick is a projection, whereas a high-priced free agent is a proven commodity. In a season where the pressure to perform is at an all-time high, you want the proven commodity. I look at the way the Houston Texans have aggressively rebuilt their roster around C.J. Stroud, and I think that has served as a wake-up call for the entire Colts organization. You cannot just wait for your turn to win. You have to go out and seize it. This projected signing is a signal of aggression. If the Colts land a top-tier starter, it shifts the expectations for the entire 2024 season. We are no longer talking about just a winning record or a potential wildcard berth. We are talking about winning the division and making a deep run in the playoffs. I have seen how one player can transform a unit. Think back to when the Colts traded for DeForest Buckner. That move cost a first-round pick and a massive contract, but nobody regrets it today because Buckner is the heartbeat of that defense. This projected free agent signing could have the same impact without costing a draft pick. That is the beauty of free agency when you have the cap space that the Colts currently possess. I also want to touch on the fit with Shane Steichen's vision. Steichen wants a team that is fast, physical, and relentless. By adding an elite starter on the defensive side, you give Steichen the luxury of knowing his defense can hold its own, allowing him to be even more creative and aggressive with Anthony Richardson on offense. I think about the secondary as well. If the big money signing is a lockdown cornerback, it changes the way Gus Bradley can call a game. He could finally move away from the heavy zone schemes that fans have criticized and allow his corners to play more man-to-man coverage. That would be a breath of fresh air for this defense. I have spoken to many people who follow this team closely, and the consensus is that the time for patience is over. The fans are hungry for a winner, and the front office knows it. This report from Heavy.com is the first real evidence we have that the Colts are preparing to meet those expectations. I want to analyze the financial side of this for a moment. People get worried about big money, but with the salary cap jumping up the way it did this year, a $20 million a year contract is not what it is to be. It's manageable for a team like the Colts, who have drafted well and don't have many massive contracts on the books outside of a few key players. I believe this is the perfect time to strike. You have your quarterback on a cheap deal for 3 more years, you have a solid offensive line,